Okay, so this morning I decided to pull out a new stamp set that I recently purchased, a Hydrangea Haven. And for some of you know, I absolutely love hydrangeas. I've got a number of plants in my backyard. I love them because they grow absolutely wonderfully, easy to maintain. All of mine are actually in pots. They do really well in big pots. And they're just gorgeous, and I often will cut them fresh and bring them in my house and make a huge bouquet to put on my coffee table in my living room, or I cut them and let them dry, and I have them well into the fall. I eventually get rid of them because I don't know, there seems to be spiders and maybe spider webs on them if you keep them all year round, and they get dusty and ugly, so I get rid of them. But they're just absolutely gorgeous, so I couldn't help myself. I had to have this stamp set. Now this is a two-step stamping set. It's photopolymer, so it's easy to see through the images to do to stamp the shaded image. So you've got your outline images on the one sheet, and you've got your fill-in on the other side. So these two-step stamp sets that have the fill-in images, it's just faster and easier than actually coloring. But if you like to color, and I love to color, then you could just color the outline images. Okay. And one thing to let you know about doing flowers, if you don't really like the black, normally we stamp with our Memento black, tuxedo black. And if you don't like the black, if you find it's too harsh, I will often stamp my flowers with our basic gray. So this is our basic gray, and it just lightens it up a little bit. Then there's something called no-line watercoloring. And no-line watercoloring means that you stamp it with even a lighter color. So you could go with something like our smoky slate. So it's barely stamped, or you can stamp this and then stamp it off on a scrap piece of paper before you stamp it onto your cardstock to make the outline very faint. And then when you color it, particularly with watercolors, you won't see the lines at all. So that's called no-line watercoloring. So there's some ideas for you. So now that I've got the gray out, I might as well use that. Okay, let's take a look at, oh gosh, and I want to show you these absolutely stunning papers. Now, you know you can make your own gift bags, right? There is a gift bag pattern where you can use 2 full sheets to make a beautiful gift bag. So I'll go through these sheets. You get 2 of each. And so look at this. You've got these beautiful hydrangeas. And on the back is this, I call it a basket weave, which is really cool. Then there's this sheet here that has shades of pink, and I think there's a tiny bit of yellow in there as well, so that's really cool, of just the petals. And then the back, oh my gosh, I love that. I love stripes. That is gorgeous. Love that. Okay, here's another sheet. This would be pretty for a gift bag, or you could even take you have to trim this, of course, or trim around it, and then you could use your circle dies or punches to punch these out. These would be fun to do. So there's those, and let's see what the back is. I love turning over the back. I love to get surprised. Oh my gosh, that's a surprise. Look at that. Okay, so the colors are always listed on the cardboard sheet that's in there. And you keep these cardboard sheets. They're fantastic for doing 3-dimensional projects because they're nice and thick. It's almost like using chipboard. So make sure you hang on to these and don't throw them out. So this is called Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper, and the colors are Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Rococo Rose, which is going to be retiring soon, Seaside Spray, also retiring soon, and Whisper White. They're still calling it Whisper White. The new DSP is coming out for this new annual catalog. They will have changed the name to Basic White because we no longer carry Whisper White. It's now Basic White. So I've already pulled out, these are the 2 grape colors, Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. Those are beautiful, beautiful colors. I love purples, so I use these a lot. And so there's the 2 purples. Then there's Misty Moonlight, which is one of our new in colors from last year. It's kind of like a denim color. I've used this a lot. This is a great color. So Misty Moonlight, see that? Misty Moonlight is in this sheet of paper. Then we have, of course, Old Olive. It's my staple green. I love Old Olive. Perfect for flowers and plants. Old Olive. Then they have also the Mossy Meadow, which is a darker green. This is our Mossy Meadow. It's a great green as well. And Rococo Rose and Seaside Spray. So these are the 2 that are retiring. So they're selling out fast. Rococo Rose and Seaside Spray. These 2 are retiring. So I went ahead and I got some extra cardstock for these because I just love these 2 colors. And the other 2 that are retiring is this Rococo Rose, or sorry, Terracotta Tile, which is a great for potted plants, and Pretty Peacock. There was a 5th color, but the stamp pad never worked. It was called Purple Posy, and they had a problem with the ink formulation, so I threw that one out. But the paper's gorgeous. The Purple Posy paper is gorgeous. So these are retiring. So if you have these, get the reinkers. If you don't have them and you think you would like the colors, then get them. But I will warn you, we're getting 5 new ink colors. So our new annual catalog will go live on May the 4th. So if you would like a catalog from me, please send me either an email or a text message, or you can phone me and I'll put you on my list. I got my catalogs in the mail Friday, so I have them here, and I will set a date for pickup. Okay, let's continue with these papers. Yeah, so that's the back of this one. And then there's these are, look at how pretty those are if you did those in circles. So we've got these. So see how you're combining this blue with the purples, the 2 purples. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And here's the reverse. Oh, this is a nice background paper. Just those individual little tiny petals that make up a large flower. I love that. Gorgeous. I know I brag a lot about our papers, love our paper. And then look at this sheet. Oh my gosh, that's what my plant looks like when it's all in bloom. I wish I could get 2 different colors on the same plant. I mean, I get shades of the same color, but not blue and purple. Aren't those gorgeous? And hydrangeas, I mean, they bloom all summer and well into the fall. Like well into the fall. So it's a great investment. And look at this background paper. It's got these little tiny petals on there. Can you see that? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then this one. These I call these border papers because what you can do is you cut this. So this would be it could be a portrait or a landscape card. I usually get my papers, and then depending on the orientation, I cut them, because it's 12 inches, I cut them into 3 4-inch wide strips and then cut them down to fit the card. Or if this is a horizontal card, then you're going to cut this right at 5.5, or 5 1/4 would be your layer. So this looks cute at the bottom of the card, and then you do your designing above that. So these are the border prints. I love these. And then look at the back. This is Rococo Rose, look. It's got tiny little dots on there. Very, I don't dislike any of the patterns. I love them all. And look at can you hear the thickness? That's why they're great for boxes. They're great for bags. Best paper on the market, in my opinion. Okay. Now, I have to decide what I'm going to use. So let's take a look at our card sketch. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, I do have a bit of an idea in my head, but I like to design on the fly with you. So here's our sketch. So we have a hard base that's 5.5 by 8.5. And then we have a panel that is 4 by 5.25. So that's your standard layer. Then we have a 1 3/4 by 5-inch strip down here. 2.5 by 2.5, and then this for a little, you could do this for a little greeting. So lots of ideas here. This could be a piece of designer series paper. I love 2 or 3 designer patterns on a card. I think it really pops the card. So this 4 by 5.25 could be a piece of designer series paper. This 1 3/4 by 5 could be a piece of designer paper. This one I'm just going to use as 2.5 by 2.5 square, and then I'm going to probably stamp something on there. Right? You could even, you know, this could be, your card base could be color. This panel could be white, and you could do a big hydrangea that kind of sits in here. Maybe. And then this could be a piece of DSP and another something. Wow, this is a nice sketch. I like this sketch. I like this a lot. Okay, so let's decide. Oh, and it's kind of, it kind of breaks my heart when I have to cut into my DSP, but that's what it's for, right? Love it, chop it. That's a famous expression by an Australian demonstrator named Kylie Bertucci. Love it, chop it, love it, chop it. You love it, but you chop it. Okay, so I need to decide. First, I'm going to work on my design because that might help. Now let's think about my greeting. The world is better because of you. I want something small. For you, with love. Congrats, thank you, the tiny little thank you here. With love, for you. With love, and then on the inside you could say on your birthday. For you on your birthday. I love you, make me smile. I appreciate all the little things you do. To an incredible woman. Whoa, that's powerful. Aren't we all incredible? You could put to an incredible woman on the front, and the world is better because of you. So there's inside outside greetings. I love that too. And some nice decorating elements. This is a great stamp set. Okay, so 2.5 by 2.5. All right. Oh, and I want to just give you a heads up. I'm expecting a parcel which will require my signature. So Alexa will shout out at me if somebody comes to the door. So I'll have to leave you for a minute, probably just a minute, just to go and sign for this parcel. I'm not really expecting it till later this afternoon.
Sorry, something went wrong.
Yeah, it did go wrong because I said your name and didn't ask you a question. So you can go back to sleep now. Okay, Christine, you wrote me a comment. Let's just see more. You love hydrangeas. I bought one a couple of years ago that is in a pot. The green is starting up. So I'm hoping to actually get some flowers this year.
Motion detected at the blink.
Oh my gosh, there's something at the blink. At the camera. Alexa, open blink camera. Sorry, you guys.
Okay.
They didn't ring the doorbell, so I think I'm okay. Yeah, they're bound to ring the doorbell. Okay. Sometimes birds flutter by my front door and then that sets off the camera. Okay, let's see. So let's use oh, there was a truck delivery, but I don't see a parcel. Might be in the mailbox, but they didn't ring the bell, so I guess they don't need a signature maybe, or it's something else. Now I see an I love you in here, but I don't, oh, there it is, way down at the bottom left, I love you. There's an I love you too. Okay. I think I'm just going to do a for you. So that will, gosh, these are tiny little stamps. Keep an eye on these. Okay, for you. Let's put this on a tiny block. How many of you are crafting with me? Who's crafting this morning? For you. Okay, that will put on my little tiny flag. Now, when I cut down my cardstock, I end up with lots of these strips, and I hang on to those because I use them a lot of times for my greetings. Okay, now I might do my greeting in a color instead of black. You could change this out for a circle if you wanted to. Let's just put that for you on here. And then I'm going to get my scissors out. And I'm going to cut this, say here. And then I'm going to flag it. So up the center, in from the sides. I don't like that. Flag is too big. I went in too deep in this on the center. There we go. For you. Okay, that's done. Now 2.5 by 2.5. So you could either use your squares framelets, or I can just hand cut one. So this piece is not big enough. So I have a piece over here. Yeah, 2.5 by 2.5. That's a good size. Let me pull out my trimmer. Okay, so 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, that's a decent size. Then we need a 1 3/4 by 5. I might do DSP for that. Okay. So I'm going to get a piece of, I just put out a fresh sheet of grid paper this morning. Decided to pull out my paper pumpkin paper. Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh, this is a big flower though. It's going to cover that whole piece. But I could kind of have it come off the paper. Let's give it a try and see what happens. I love fresh new virgin stamps, I call them. Fresh and new. Okay, I'm going to stamp this with that gray color just to show you. Now another thing you can do with your stamps as well, certain stamps, is if you have watercolor markers, like we have these Stampin' Write markers that match all of our colors, and there's a brush end and there's a writing tip. So you can actually color directly onto, I use the brush tip and I just drag it along my stamp like this. So you can color the stamp, you know, the stem's in green and the flower in your purple, and then you can dab on other color as well. And that's a cool technique, but I want to use these shadowed stamps just to show you. So let's see, if I do this, say, I want to get some of the leaves on there. Let's do this. Give it a good press. Remember to use your, I have a spongy layer underneath my mat here, but make sure you use your gray foam mat. There we go. See, the gray is not quite as stark as the black. Okay, so let's now let's get out the coordinating fill-in pieces. So this is the hydrangea here. Now, I don't worry too much about lining these up. I just kind of think of it as Art Deco. I don't care about lining it up per se, because it might be almost impossible to line it up. So I don't worry too much about lining it up, because, yeah, just because. Yeah, if I took more time to do it, I would do it, but I might not want to spend the time today doing it. I think that looks good right there. So let's get a block and pop that on, okay? And then I'm going to use, so I'm going to show you, I think I'm going to use this, the lighter color purple, which is Highland Heather. Okay. And these fill-in stamps are usually designed so it provides light and dark colors. Now I don't remember where I lined it up. See, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to stamp that on like that. Oops. So see how there's light and dark in there? Now we have something called a blender pen. So and it just has a clear liquid inside. So what you can do is you can just drag out, or you can go to your ink pad. And I used my re-inker and added a dab of purple in here. So you could, if you wanted to, just color in the bits that you missed. And then you can come in here and then you can add some other color. You see? Oh, for heaven's sakes. I don't know what that reminder is for. Sometimes I set a lot of reminders during the day and then I don't know what I've set them for. That's crazy. I'm crazy. Okay, so I'm just going to color in a bit of dark in here. You could have added a bit of blue in here. Okay, so look, that looks great, I think. Okay, so that's the flower. Now I'm going to pull in, let's see, let's try these leaves. How do these stamp? Okay, so here's your whole stem. And I'll get another large block. That's not big enough. Let's use this one. Okay, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use my old olive for this. Make sure you put the caps back on any of the markers that you use. Otherwise they dry out. So let's ink that up with the green. So I'm just going to hover over, my head might get in the camera, but I'm going to hover over this stamp set here, or this image. Try and line up. There we go. There we go. That worked okay. And then again, if you wanted some contrast in here, again, you could get your marker. Now, once you've colored it with one color, if you just keep going like this, the color comes out. And there's two ends, right? So you can do multiple colors. And these come in a pack of 3. So I could just grab some color. And I could just add a bit of contrast in here. Like you could just go along the veins. Oh, I love stamping. Makes me think like, makes me out to be a real artiste. Can't draw worth a darn. And that's why I got into stamping. I took watercolor classes and I was just hopeless. Okay, look at that. I love it. All right, so that's going to be, so sometimes working on your focal image on your card first helps you decide on the rest of the card. Okay, now I think for my card base, see, I could go with the green or I could go with the purple. So let's decide first on the designer series paper sheet that I want to use, and it's going to be a tough choice. So I want this to stand out, so I'm not going to use a piece like this with the big hydrangeas on there. That would defeat the purpose. But I could use a background, and I don't see, none of these will work. So I think I'm going to just turn these over. Whoops. Hang on a sec. I've lost my voice. Yeah. Okay. So we don't want, I don't think I want the pink. I don't want the pink. And I don't, yeah, this is this way. This is a bit too busy, I think. I think I want something really pale. Now, I stamped my little greeting in the blue, so I could do this as my background. Okay, so I could do this, and then I could use, this is Misty Moonlight, and I could use the Misty Moonlight cardstock as well. Okay, now what's the back of that? That's that. And even for this strip here, I could just even emboss that. You know how I love embossing. Okay, let's get a piece of Misty Moonlight for the card base. I happen to have a piece already cut. This is a horizontal card, and I'm going to use an 11-inch piece here. So let me pull out my scoreboard, and I'm going to kick out the blade and score this at 5.5 because it's 11 inches wide. Oops, I almost cut it. Oh, that would have been a disaster. Okay, so there's my card base. See how nice this will look on top? That'll look great. I feel like I need some more purple in here though. Hang on a sec. Let me go back. Because the flower's purple. Actually, this would be a nice strip. Yeah, I'll do this one as a little strip. Okay, this is how I start cutting my papers. And Christine, you also have 12 by 12 papers because of scrapbooking. So if you're card making, how do you cut your papers for card making? I do basically 3 strips of, and I always watch the front and the back to make sure of the orientation of the paper. So see, these flowers go like this. So I would cut this. So I always cut my paper to start with in the 3 strips of 4 inches. Okay, so this will be, well, I start with 1 because you could do 1 as a horizontal card too. So I'm just going to do 1 strip that's 4 inches here. Whoops. We'll just start with 1. And then it's 5 1/4, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so that's how I start. 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, now I'm not using this whole, although let's see, we could decide to use this. You help me decide here. Oh my gosh, Kristen, you have to cut your papers. I know, I was like you, and then I end up with all this paper, and I'm still buying more. It's just ridiculous. I always think about once I'm gone and people start going through my stuff, you know, then they're going to say nasty things about me. So cut your paper now and use it. Let's see. Oh, you're having coffee. Good for you. How are you doing, Carol? You must be busy crafting because you're not commenting. Okay, so I could do this. Where's my card sketch again? Don't lose my little greeting here. I'm having troubles with my voice this morning. All right, so I could do this, and that helps with that color, I think, versus this. Oh, that's the wrong piece. Oh, I should cut this piece too. Hang on. Let me cut this piece as well. Now what's on the other side? This is also... this isn't really directional. They're kind of... This is up, this is down. Yeah, so that doesn't matter which way I cut this one. So again, I'll do this one 4 5 1/4. And then if I need little strips, then I just cut from these smaller pieces. I wouldn't go to my 12 by 12 and then cut a little strip of 1 by 4, for example. I always start with these pieces and then I trim. Okay, so this little piece here, 1 3/4 by 5, we could put this one in here. One 1 3/4 by 5. Yeah, it doesn't go edge to edge here. Yeah, we definitely don't want this as a strip. All right, so 1 3/4, 1 3/4. And you could leave it, if you don't want to trim it, you could leave it full size, but I'm going to trim it because it's 1/4 inch less. So I'm going to trim that to 5. Okay. All right, so this will go on here like this, and this will come along like this, and then this will come on like this. Ooh, I don't know. I think I want a frame on here. What do you think? I think this needs a frame. And then for you, maybe this needs to be bigger too. A bigger piece. Also note that if you wanted to, you could emboss your designer series paper as well. I might emboss this piece. Give it a bit of texture. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm just going to emboss this and see what this is like. Check out this embossing folder. This is called Old World Paper. Can you see it? It is so cool because it creates this interesting, and I actually embossed this on the wrong side. I like the crinkles coming up versus down, but I did the wrong side. I don't think this would look good on here. What do you think? Oh no, too busy. Okay. So I'm going to do this side. So yeah, be careful when you're embossing to get the right side. Okay, so we're going to do this. And then we're going to do, I think I need a border on here, maybe green. So I'm going to pull out these are retiring. I'm so sad because I'll continue using these for sure. Two and a half by 2.5. I think it's this big one here. Yeah, I'm going to go do this in, I think, maybe the dark purple or the green. Can't decide. This is how I end up with my bowl of leftovers, because I will often not know what I'm doing, cut a couple of pieces, and then throw it in that bowl. So let's try, I'm going to do the green and see what that looks like. Okay, here's the green. Green. I'm going to do a purple one and just see the difference. Okay, here's the purple. Christine, you'd make it the same color as the outside frame. So the blue, yeah, we could do the blue too. Yeah, I think we need maybe the blue. The green looks good too. I don't know if I like the purple. Not sure about the purple. Let's go do the blue. Maybe the blue's the one. Didn't think about the blue. Let's do the blue. So when you're designing your cards, I mean, sometimes it's hard to make the decision without actually having, oh, look at all that green ink on my finger. I don't know how that happened. It's good to have your options visible, okay? Because your eye will eventually tell you which is the right one. See, I don't like the purple maybe with this blue underneath it. I do like the green a lot. But let's just try the blue as you suggested, Christine. Yeah, the blue looks good too, doesn't it? Kind of pulls in the cardstock from the back. And it kind of blends better with this blue piece. So I think that's a good decision. Okay. Now, and then we have this. I think I need to make this bigger. This just gets hidden in here. So let's do something a bit bigger. Maybe I could do maybe I could even do a bigger greeting. That's too wide. Okay, maybe we can do a longer greeting. Maybe that would show up better. This would need something. The world is better because of you. Where's the stamp set gone? Here we go. It's significantly bigger than what I decided on to begin with. So let's just try this out. Let's move some stuff out of the way here so I can get at my blocks. I still like the idea of this being in. Oh, Barbara, you said you confirmed blue. Good. And Carol, yes, a frame. Good. We all agree. And if we don't, that's good too. Because we all have our own design. Is this going to fit on this? That's not even going to fit on that piece. Okay, let's grab a larger piece. Let's just see what this is going to look like. Okay. Yeah, this might be better. The world is better because of you. Now to decide where to put it. And I think I'm going to grab where is my oh, here it is. I love our triple banner punch. First you have to open it. This is going to be way too long, so let's just snip this. So this doesn't quite fit in the track centered properly, so I'm just going to turn it over and get this centered in here like that, and then punch it. Let's hope I didn't punch off my, oh my gosh, perfect. I snipped off just the right amount. All right, I'm going to start gluing some stuff down here. So I'm going to get out my little silicone mat, and I'm going to close my ink pad before a disaster befalls me. Get rid of this frame. Okay, so let's put some tape on here. Okay, make sure you open your card so you've got it oriented the right way. There's nothing worse than putting your design on the back of the card. I think I'll open this easier. Lies flat. Okay, let's see. That looks good. Okay, now because this is embossed, I don't do a tape runner. I use my Tombow glue. Just a tiny bit around the edges. Okay. Then let's get out our hydrangea. Now what I'm going to do, I need some dimension on my card. So I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. I'll put 4 in the corners. And I'm going to put 1 in the middle just to hold it up. Carol agreed to blue too. Perfect. We have consensus. I cut all my nails down to give them a rest, and I really miss them. Okay. Okay. It's coming. All right, this is going to go on here like this, and then let's decide. Now this is going to have to be popped up too. So when you're going across something that's high on a dimension and low, then you can glue this directly to this and then put dimensionals under this one here like that. So let's first glue this on. And of course, it's going to need my favorite embellishment on here when it's all said and done. So I'm going to glue this like about here and put dimensionals on this end here. Okay. So I think I just need 1. All right, first I'm going to put my Wink of Stella on here. I'm not really covering the whole thing. I'm just going to do some of these flowers on here. Okay, and I think what would be really nice are these tiny little pearls. Now I won't do the centers of all the flowers. Oh, I've already taken that backing off. I won't do all of the flowers. Oh, I need glue on here. Okay, now let's have a look at these little pearls. Oh, I want to show you, let's see, I want to show you. These are the pearls that coordinate with this set. They're called pastel pearls, and they're the 2 shades of purple and a pale blue in here. I think there's pink in here too. Yeah, pink. Look at that. Look at these. But they're a bit big, I think. Unless I don't do the flowers and I just put some on here randomly. They're quite large. And if this card's going through the mail, we've already got dimension on here. So these aren't an option, I don't think, for this card. But I will certainly be using those for something else. Let's pull out the other pearls that we have. These are our everyday pearls. So I'm just going to put on scissors. I'm just going to put on, I'm not going to put on a whole bunch. I'm just going to put on a few. On maybe the darker purple flowers, purple petals. I might do 5. Let's do one here. Let's do one here. And I need one more. One up here, or one here. Okay, then I like to take a pencil with the eraser and then push them down, just to make sure they stick well. Okay. There's your card. Now for the inside of the card, oh, that's very vanilla. That won't work. I don't think I have another piece of basic white here. But on the inside of the card, what you could do is take a strip from this piece, because you've already started cutting it in strips. And you cut this into another strip. And yeah, there's a cute little half hydrangea in here. And I'm going to just cut this into a 1/2 inch strip here. I'm going to decorate the inside of the card for you. I rarely do that, but the inside is just as important, if not more important, because that's where your greeting is. So let me just grab another piece of Whisper White or base. And I want to share with you some happy mail I got this week. I'm going to start doing this. If I get a card in the mail, I'm going to start sharing it with you guys. So one of them, of course, is from one of our little VIP group members. This is from Carol. She sent me an Easter card. So Carol loves to take photographs, and so she put this beautiful spring flower. Look at all these beautiful tulips. I'll bet you this is a picture from the Tulip Festival. Carol, yes, no? Then she embossed the front and framed it in yellow. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so that's the card that she sent me. And then I just got this one on Friday. This is from a fellow demonstrator. All the demonstrators on the island, we send birthday cards to each other. And so I sent her a birthday card and she sent me a thank you card back. But look how bright and cheery that is. So pretty. So there's my happy mail for the week. Okay, so here's my 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to create this border on here. But before I do that, let's see what other stamps we've got in here. We've got this really sweet, I haven't stamped with these yet, so I don't really know. Well, this one here, see how there's a half a head? Or like that could be just the start of a bloom coming out, and then there's some extra leaves, and there's also a shadow piece. So let's use this one. It's quite big. It's bigger. These images are smaller than real. They usually tell you that. Yeah, these images on the cover are at 75% of the real size. So yeah, these are much bigger. Okay, so let's do, and then here's the coordinating one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp, I'll do this one in, let's see, I'm going to do this one in the dark purple, Gorgeous Grape. Then I'll do this one I don't think these are supposed to line up. Or have I got the wrong one on here? Maybe this one is for this one. Like I said, I haven't used this stamp. Maybe this is for this one. I better play with these stamps so I know what goes with what. Yes, this shadowy bit, here it shows you on the stamp set. This shadowy step goes with just the little petal stamp. And this one here doesn't have a shadow on it. So you could color that. It's got little leaves in it too. So I should have stamped that in gray. But you know what? I'm not going to color it, I don't think. So, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to put a few little leaves in here too. So actually, what I could do, no, this is, here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my blending pen again. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my blender pen and I'm just going to color in these flowers. Like this. So see how you can make some darker when you first apply the ink and then keep going with the lighter ink. Okay, so those are those done. See, that doesn't take long at all. Let's get out the green. Whoops. And then on the, did I use this end yet? Oh, this is the green end, perfect. So I'll do I'm just gonna dab on a bit of green. That's kind of cute. Oh, Carol, you're going April 26th? Oh, lucky you. Wish we had a tulip festival here on the island. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cover that up now. It's kind of cute, isn't it? And you could put this on the side. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I've changed my mind. I don't want to cover that up. It's too cute. I'm just going to put this on the side. Man, oh man, I remember years back. Oh my gosh, when was that? When we first were married. So at late 80s, we went down to the Tulip Festival on our bicycles. How fun was that? So I'm just going to put this on the side like this. Then you always trim from the back. Where are we at? Oh, I've gone past the hour. I try not to do that, but I wanted to show you the inside. There we go. Now let's just glue this to the inside of our card and we'll be done. Wow, this has been fun that you could share in my first project using the Hydrangea Hill suite of products. Very pretty. I'll be making more cards. These will make great birthday cards for over the summer. From me to you, from my garden of hydrangeas to you. Gotta take my sweater off. I'm just dying here. There you go. There's the inside of your card. So the world is better because of you. I hope you enjoyed today's card.